Bluff City NIL is an official partner of Coaching for Literacy, a nonprofit organization using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. You can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on any social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your donations at Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. So we thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, TJ Willis and Trey Lasley. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
Womp, womp, womp. TJ, the stashes are gone. March Stashmas is over. The Tiger season is over. I'm in a dark, dark place right now.
I get it. I'm in all black. I'm mourning right now. It's not good.
And I can't get over it. I don't know what's going on with me. It has been a rough 3 days.
I'll tell you what's worse.
Get even more depressing, can we just talk about what we're drinking first tonight?
Yeah, of course. This is the one thing that's probably going to help cheer us up. One of the better beers in Memphis.
Gasoline right or here. Bleach.
This is Ghost River Golden Ale. If you haven't had this one, this is kind of one of those triple OGs. Been around for a while.
Just a classic.
It is a classic. It's fantastic.
My can over here is very beat up. I have not had this that long. It seems like I've had it forever.
They changed up their branding a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Hey, shout out to the black can while we're in mourning.
I think we can go ahead and call this March Sadness, unfortunately.
You ain't lying, T. You ain't ever lied. Well, that's not true. You probably have.
That's not true. Yeah, I've lied. Yeah.
On this show, you've never lied.
That's probably also not true, but we'll go with it.
Well, tonight you haven't lied. I hope that's true because we're about a minute and a half in.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, dude, I was so fired up for Friday. Barely Dickinson knocks off Purdue, and I was like, we are in the Sweet 16. We're in it already. Although in the back of my mind, I knew, I was like, okay, now that FDU won and we would be playing a 16 seed, we're probably losing tonight because that would be the most Memphis. That would be the most Memphis thing ever, is to have the route of a 1 seed without being a 1 seed.
You would think that at this point we're just numb to it, but it still hurts. It hurts every time.
I mean, Friday, that was one of the most painful Memphis moments I've had in my lifetime.
That's fair.
My 32 years of fandom, that is up there. Let's see. I cried in 90. Well, we beat Tennessee here in 96. I think 96. We didn't play them in 98. That was the year they won, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so the Mourning year.
It had to have been like 99. Whatever year we played them again at home, I cried. I don't know that I cried after the national championship game, but I was furious. And recently I've been like, it's definitely, my relationship with Memphis athletics is very unhealthy. It affects my mood. My wife will vouch for that. I didn't sleep on Friday, which is wild. Why am I not able to sleep because of a bunch of college athletic athletes playing in a game that they didn't win?
A little different than me. I did sleep, and my wife said I woke up at like 2 a.m. It was just like, why the hell couldn't we win that game? And then just rolled over and went back to bed.
Yeah, so TJ in his sleep was having nightmares.
I don't know what you want from me. I don't know.
At least you fell
Why
asleep.
was she awake?
She couldn't sleep either.
That's
I will say this.
true.
It was a high-strung game for me. Mainly because I knew if we lost, our season was over. I don't watch every game that intensely, but basically the whole time my dog was nervous because I was pacing and huffing and puffing. That makes him very nervous. And Natalie, my wife, hated it. I mean, she said multiple times, "This is not fun. I am not enjoying watching this basketball game." And I was like, "I'm not enjoying it either because this is extremely high stress." But so I just, and I don't, it's one of those where I would have rather just gotten blown out.
Absolutely.
Because then you're just like, we didn't show
Whatever.
up. It wasn't our night. Like, you have time. You're sitting there and you're getting blown out, and you just, it sucks, but you just got beat by a better team that night.
Yeah. You can live with it.
That was not the case Friday. And I know people are going to say, don't put yourself in a position where the referees determine the game. But I'm like, the referee should never be in the position to determine the outcome of a game. They are there to control a game and call it fairly. And there were multiple instances the other night they get paid for this. This is their job. And there will probably be zero repercussions for it. Nothing will happen. They'll go on about their lives. But can we talk about all of the blown calls the other night?
Just for preference, I am not one who typically goes at the refs and says, like, you blew it, like you kind of cost us the game kind of situation. But some of those,
I don't like doing it either.
Super questionable as to how they weren't called, to the point where like Dan Wolken is going wild. Like, people that aren't typically like all fans of Memphis going hard against the ref, saying like, you just got screwed, Memphis.
Yes, all of national media. It was everywhere talking about how we got screwed. And I will say, when they happen earlier in the game, they're not that big of a deal. So, like, yes, I was furious about the shot clock review, them hitting. I knew as soon as they put time.
Review that?
No, you cannot. And they had the rules official come on and say you cannot review and add time. You can only review a shot clock if the shot was made and the horn goes off to see if it got off in time. So I will say, as soon as that happened and they went to go review it and they put 0.6 on, I literally told my wife they are going to make a shot here. And I'm just a heads up, I'm going to be furious about it. And then, of course, they drained a freaking fadeaway three in the corner. And one, there shouldn't have been time added because, to your point, you can't review it. Two, it was out of bounds on them anyway. So it should have been our ball regardless. Now, I will say it did cancel out because not long after that, or maybe it might have been right before it, I can't remember, but they admit their big Golden or whatever, big 7-footer missed a shot off the front. It hit the backboard and hit the front of the rim. They get the rebound there at the top of the key. Shot clock reset to 20, as it should, because it hit the rim. Ref blows the play dead as soon as FAU shoots a three. They drain the three, wave it off. Go review it, say, oh, you're right, it hit the rim, the time was correct, inbound the ball, FAU doesn't get any points out of the possession. And I was like, if I was an FAU fan, I'd be really pissed off about that. But it evens out because you were gifted a three on a bogus shot clock. So those, we'll say it cancels out.
There are a couple of them, dude. I don't even know, like, go ahead. You seemingly had this list replayed in your head.
I'm just, after that.
I can tell you which one sits in my mind.
What?
The Kendrick three.
Oh my god!
When he got hurt,
and what's do you know the story? Do you know the story behind it? I don't know exactly what official it was. Let me look up their names.
I know that's a conspiracy theory. Get that out of here.
I'm not going with the TSSAA thing. Do you know what I'm about to say?
No, I thought you were going there.
I think it's Lee Cassell. He was the only other game of ours this year that he reffed was at Cincinnati. And you know what happened in that game? The same damn thing where Kendrick shot a three, landed on a defender's foot, and they called a flop technical on us. And you know what happened? He comes out, Lee Cassell, at half and says, my bad, I missed it. Shouldn't have been a technical, should have been a flagrant foul for not giving you a landing zone. Literally is reffing this game. The same exact thing happened and no calls made.
Yeah, it's such a swing. Not only do you get your 3 free throws, you also get a tech in the ball back. Like, it's such a pivotal moment in the game, and they just nothing happened. Kendrick's on the ground, rolling around, screaming, and the play just continues.
And why is that not reviewable? You reviewed everything else that's not reviewable in the game. You're not going to review that. I mean, they were.
What's the point of the rule?
Everything, and I will look. Should Elijah have pushed? No, but they both pushed each other. So why is it not a double technical? And I'm not going to say that was dumb as hell. We were losing our cool, which leaves a real bad taste in my mouth because we didn't see any of that. That and then Katie and Malco getting into it and shoving in the timeout.
That was weird. Real weird.
And our buddy Jonathan reminded me of this. Last time, you know what happened last time we played in Columbus, Ohio in the NCAA tournament?
No.
St. Louis game. Same damn thing happened. Down the stretch. Will Barton and
I
want to say it was Adonis, but don't
know about that one.
Don't quote me on that. But it was Barton and somebody got in a shoving match in the huddle in the timeout. And then we ended up losing the game.
I am super curious about that. Like, why those two? Right?
Who, Malco and
what was
Kendrick?
going on? Yeah, like what was going on?
I don't know. He said something about it in the post game, I think, just heat of the moment. And I get that. I know that happens. I've been on teams where everybody just wants to win. But yeah, it was, I don't know. I think, did you say this? Maybe Kendrick called for a screen and Malco didn't come and then he lands on dude's foot and gets hurt. I mean, I don't know. I got
nothing. It was weird, man.
So yeah, you had the Kendrick 3 landed on the foot, should have been called. That's 3 shots and the ball to your point. You had, obviously, and all of those happened. There's still enough time left for you to win the game. You were up when most of those happened anyway. The one is literally decided the game.
The jump ball, yeah.
And everybody's going to point to the turnover from Kendrick. And I'm like, the turnover is irrelevant because Kendrick came back, knocked the ball loose, and we got possession of the ball.
Sure.
So at that point, his turnover means nothing. They didn't score off of it. Like nothing happened other than an additional 10 seconds ran off the clock, and now it's our ball still up 1, and there's only 5 seconds left. Sure, he made a turnover. It was a dumb cross-court pass, but I think you were getting close to a 10-second call. Should he have called?
Yeah, he was pushing the 10 seconds, yeah.
But he was just trying to get it across to who he thought it was open. I don't think he saw that defender there. But regardless, he made a play to get the ball back. So at that point, that turnover doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That's also like, even if he gets it across and they foul us, like, maybe whoever misses both free throws, or you make one and then they hit a 3. Like, there's a lot of that. The game's extended in that scenario. The turnover happens. He steals the ball back. There's only 5 seconds left now, and we have the ball up 1. But to call that a jump ball was the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen in my life. You had Kendrick and Alex right in front of 2 officials calling timeout multiple times. And not even that, nobody on Florida Atlantic actually had possession. Like, they weren't even touching the basketball. So how is that a jump ball? And why is that not reviewable? And literally all the other plays, whatever. You have an extended amount of time. You had multiple minutes of game time left. It's not that big of a deal. But when there are 5 seconds left in a 1-point game, and in an instant where it's not even a real jump ball, right? It's not a true 50-50. It's literally just going to somebody because it's a possession arrow, which is the stupidest rule ever. Like, can we get rid of that, please?
Make it an actual jump ball, right?
Yeah. And I looked it up today to figure out why it is a jump ball. And do you know what it was a true jump ball up until I think it was 1981, and they changed it because it gave the taller, more athletic player an advantage in a jump ball. I'm like, okay, I can see that. But doesn't the taller, more athletic player have an advantage the entire game?
Yeah. I was like, as opposed to what? What other time does he not have the advantage?
Okay. And if that's your concern, then why not just change the rule that each coach...
Why is there ever a jump ball?
Well, or just make it that each coach can pick whoever's on the floor for a jump ball. Then they just pick the 2 tallest players. It's a 50-50 ball. Like, why are we doing a possession error? That's so stupid.
I say pick up some like XFL rules and make people run like the whole court back and forth. Like basically, remember in like old school XFL where they had to run the 40
I'd even prefer it just to straight up shoot for it, street ball, do or die. Yeah. In that scenario, like
quick game of pig.
Which also brings me to a play that happened about a minute and a half before that when they called a travel on Jaden. Now that was a jump ball. Dude literally grabbed the ball while he was driving the lane. If you're okay.
I thought it was a travel. I know what you're talking about.
He grabbed the ball. It could have been called a jump ball.
It could have. Yeah.
I mean, if they called the last one a jump ball, then that one was 100% a jump ball.
That one was definitely more of a jump ball.
Which then brings me to my next point of if they had called that a jump ball, then the possession error would have been ours with 5 seconds left. But all that to say that the possession arrow is maybe one of the dumbest things that's in collegiate sports. Just get rid of the arrow. It's dumb. Make it jump balls. And if you don't like the taller player in that scenario having an advantage, then just allow the coaches to pick 2 guys to jump for it.
I'll tell you what, when they made the game-winning, what turned into the game-winning layup, I was in my head, I was like, this is UCF. We're just on the other end. Like, we're going to get the ball back, and we have 0 timeouts. We have no time to get down the court, and it's just not going to go in our favor. And
2 things. Why did we use our timeout defensively?
Because they were
right there.
Yeah, they were trying to get Kendrick off the court. Wasn't that what was going on? They were trying to protect Kendrick in defense.
I mean, I guess, but when there's 5 seconds left,
I don't think it's a good idea. No, I think it just panned out to not be a good idea.
The other thing I thought about, I'd have thrown KO in the game, literally, and just stand in front of the rim. I mean, if your whole thing was to not give up a layup, just stick him in the middle of the paint and have him be there as a rim protector. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I would have done it. That was just something I thought about after, and I was like, KO probably could have blocked that shot. And even if he didn't and he got called for a foul, sending the guy to the line for 2 shots for the win.
With that much pressure, yeah.
With 2 seconds left, like, I could see him splitting.
I thought about that. I thought about what if Eli just shoved the dude? Like, whatever.
Just to give up a wide open lane straight to the rack, like, that was so bad.
For me, that was one of the worst losses, and I think it's because it was literally just essentially a layup. Right at the rim, and you're gonna see that's the end of Alo. That's the end of Kendrick. That's the end of DeAndre.
It's just,
we're never seeing these guys again, and that's how it ends. Like, come on.
What a bad game to end on.
Come on.
And it makes it so much worse that we would be playing Tennessee in Madison Square Garden in the Sweet 16, a team that refuses to play us in the regular season.
The stars aligned perfectly.
In the mecca of basketball. We had our stuff booked, ready to rock and roll. I was going to take D-Grum, shout out D-Grum's, and bring you a 18-pack of Wiseacre. And now it's over. And that's why I have my background. This is what I want to remember this team as. Not as losing that game. So frustrating. How do you get over it? How do you get past it? If you're listening in the comments, let us know how you're coping with Friday's loss. Because I think about it like twice an hour, probably.
I'm not gonna lie. I've transitioned my brain to football season. Like getting out the spring practice the other day, I was like, I need this for like mental well-being. I need to be out in this 5-degree wind.
This is exactly how it set up last year too, and I was stoked. We lost to Gonzaga. Next day was spring practice, and it was great. I was fine. I felt like we played a good game. We went at Gonzaga toe for toe, ended up losing by 4. Whatever, was happy. This one is just different. Like I'm not like, I don't know. I just can't turn the page for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's sticking around too long.
There's a number for you to call, I'm sure.
There may be. And if you guys know what that number is, please post it. I can't even enjoy the tournament. The rest of the tournament. I can't watch. I've tried.
I've not watched a single game.
And all I keep thinking about is we should still be playing. I keep seeing all this stuff resurfacing about how we were a dark horse and metric wise, we were one of the best teams. We had a real shot. And it's just like, I loved this team. I think I said it at times. I hated this team, but I also loved them a lot. And now it's over.
I will say this, like, when it's all said and done, like, shout out to FAU. I think they had a really good game plan at stopping us. In the first half, we had nothing going.
It was disgusting. Why were we settling for so many J's?
One after another. Couldn't get anything inside, though.
I mean, it felt like we weren't even trying. We were shooting threes left and right. We were shooting. I can't even count how many one step inside the 3-point line we shot. The longest 2-pointers ever. Elijah, love him to death. He played his butt off. But my guy, you came into this game making 10 threes on the year. And you shot 5 in the game. There's no way that was in the game plan. That anyone on staff was like, you know what, Elijah, let's have you throwing them up from 3 tonight. Just letting that thing fly. And if you make one, good. Like, what are we why were we doing? We should have been up 10-12 at half, probably.
I mean,
and I will
got
say
fortunate that they weren't making shots, honestly.
I mean, I think you played them perfectly. Like, defensively, we played them well. They did not play great. The only thing really, like, them out rebounding us, which is,
and it wasn't about a lot, though.
I mean, they out rebounded us by 3, but there were some pretty crucial moments.
Yeah,
especially down the stretch where they got like 3 in a row. Like
the 6'6" guy,
the shot clock possession where they get the extra. They got, I'm pretty sure, 2 offensive rebounds on that possession. So it's like, if you just grab one of those, you're not in that situation anyway. You know, like, I don't know. I just do not feel like they were a better team. I think Tennessee's going to smoke them. And I think that we could have beaten Tennessee. Like, I think this was a year we legitimately could have made a deep run. And it's just like, we totally blew it. And it's so depressing.
No, earlier I said I haven't watched any of the games. So, like, I've been trying to block it out.
Oh, I haven't.
As much as I can.
I will not watch a highlight. I won't watch anything.
We were sitting on the couch. My wife was like, oh, this FAU FDU game is really good. I'm like, please stop. Like, don't say another word. And so she stopped. And like 30 minutes later, she's like, oh, FAU won. I'm like, can you not? Like, and she's like, we should be happy. The team that beat you is going to make it. And I'm like,
no, that makes me feel worse.
That just tells me that we could have been there.
The only thing, and I said that, I think Natalie said something the same. And I was like, no, the only thing that would make me feel slightly better is if FDU had beaten FAU.
FDU just smoked everybody. Give me that.
They didn't even smoke air. If they'd just beaten FAU, I'd have felt better. And now we're going to have to, they're a conference mate. They're going to bring their whole team back. They're going to be favored to win the conference next year with their whole team, their whole Sweet 16 squad back. 100%. Hate it.
It's too painful. It's painful.
Ugh.
I mean, what are we supposed to say on these things? You know, how are you supposed to?
I really
make
was
a podcast.
I really was not looking forward to doing this. Give me 5 seconds. I gotta. Kenny, you're gonna have to cut this. I have to pause this.
No.
It's been a rough 3 days, and I'm just going to remember this team as the American Athletic Conference champions. Everything about this season ended 2 Sundays ago. Leaving it at that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, gosh.
Based off what we know now, would you say this season was a success?
I'm going to stick with my answer that I had before, which was even if they lost their first game, it was a success. Because here's the thing. I don't think I would be that upset. I would still be upset because I feel like the refs handed them a victory, but I don't think I would be taking it so hard if Purdue had beaten FDU, because it's still like, hey, you still got to get by a 1 seed. I think what's eating me up so much is that we had such a sure path to a Sweet 16. And then it's like, once you get there, anything can happen, Sure. Like Katie and DeAndre didn't play great the other night by any means. What were they? 10 of 30 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Put up 13 and 16, I think, points wise. The week before that, they were putting up 70 combined points. So it's like, if you had found a way to pull out that win Friday, you get by FDU and then you get to the Sweet 16 and you get American Conference Tournament, Katie and DeAndre, it's like, I mean, we could have realistically made, and the East region is blown up. 1 seed Purdue is gone. 2 seed Marquette is gone. You got Michigan State, they're playing well, but by all means, they're beatable. Tennessee is beatable. They don't have Ziegler anymore. Yeah, they play great defensively, but they go through 10-minute spurts where they don't score in every game. So it's like Kentucky's gone. I hadn't watched a whole lot of Kansas State, but like there's no surefire way they're getting by Michigan State. So it's like we could have made some real noise. And I think that's the part of it that is making it so difficult to like flip the page on. You know what I mean? Like if Purdue had advanced and we still would have had to go through Purdue, I don't think I would feel that bad. And I would say this season was a success because coming into it, it was essentially like we have KD and some dudes, KD, DeAndre, and some dudes, right? So it's like, are they going to make the tournament, or are they really more of an NIT team? And they were a surefire NCAA team. So it's like, I think it was a success. You got a trophy. Penny has shown that he is a good coach. He gets guys to buy in. They play their best basketball every year down the stretch. You won the conference tournament over Houston, the first one in 10 years. So it's like,
yeah,
I think it just sucks that it ended the way that it ended.
Yeah. I think I originally said it wouldn't be a success, but they won the conference. I think that winning the conference part is incredible, right? We haven't done it since 2013, but then to follow up with the first round exit with arguably your best roster, at least your best 2 players you've had in your 5 years here, like it's not great. It's not great.
It does leave a real malty taste in your mouth.
And we don't like the malt.
We don't like the malt.
I think all in all, I would still consider it a success, but I'm gonna put an asterisk on it because it should have been more.
I mean, I'll ask you this. Are we ever going to have an easier path to a Sweet 16?
Dude, March is so weird. I can't.
It is weird, but dude, I'm saying a 16 seed that didn't even actually qualify for the NCAA tournament was going to be your round of 32 game. That I don't think that ever happens ever again. They did not win their conference or their conference tournament. They should not have been in any other year. They wouldn't have been in the tournament.
And I did see something.
I just don't think you get an easier route ever.
I did see something like FDU hasn't beat a top 300 KenPom team all year or something like that, which is wild because there's only 330 teams or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
So like, how the hell did you find the 30 worst basketball teams?
It's their conference, dude. But I will tell you this, that is accurate. Purdue was their second top 300 win all year.
That is so hard.
How is that even possible?
That is impressive.
Their other one was they beat St. Joseph's in December, who was 191. Every other win, their next best win outside of that was Texas Southern, who was 304. And that was in the first round.
Put it in perspective.
Tulsa would be We finished 20th in KenPom. Well, we're 20th right now.
Tulsa's pretty bad.
Tulsa was 316.
Yeah.
So they
your whole conference is Tulsa.
They'd have beat Tulsa. We had 3 outside of the top 300. So Tulsa was 1 at 316, Alabama State at 350, and then Little Rock at 321. That was basically.
How high does KenPom go?
The last ranked team in KenPom is LIU out of Brooklyn, the Sharks. They were 3-26, and they are number 363 in KenPom.
Okay, so 60 teams left, not 30. Excuse me. It's still hella impressive.
It is pretty impressive. It's also very, very impressive that they beat Purdue. I mean, that is like, I think statistically, it's legitimately the greatest upset in NCAA tournament history.
I think if anything that makes you kind of raise your eyebrow to the Big Ten, because like Purdue is obviously
every year, dude.
Smoke the Big Ten for the most part.
Every year, I was texting my buddy Matthew, who went to Michigan, and I'm like, dude, you guys put in 8-10 teams every year, and like one makes it out of the first weekend, and it's always usually Michigan, who's not even in the tournament this year. So like, this happens every year where the Big Ten is just like the best conference and they beat each other up all year, and then none of them ever advance in March.
Who is the best conference, by the way? This is off topic as hell.
I mean, I feel like I want to say the Big 12, but if you're going by teams in the Sweet 16, it's the SEC.
I think it's the SEC, you know. The Big 12 is really good. I think even their bad teams are still kind of good. And then like the SEC, some of the bad teams are just kind of bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd say the Big 12 still.
You know who's not good and keeps getting teams in?
The Mountain West.
Yeah, except for, I mean, shout out San Diego State. They're in the Sweet 16, but
yeah, they're actually kind of good.
I mean, whatever. You got through Charleston and Furman to get to the Sweet 16. KenPom 71-92. Not exactly a gauntlet. We'll see how they do against Bama on Friday. They're probably going to get slaughtered. I think that's the highest. I think that's the highest spread of games in the Sweet 16 is Bama. I think it's Bama like -10.
Wow.
All right. Enough with this tournament. It's stupid. We're never going to have an easier path. We blew it. I think also, last thing on this, I think also why I'm so down is, I'm going to be honest with you, TJ. I don't have a whole lot of hope like moving forward.
What do you mean?
We got 7 freshmen right now coming in. I don't know exactly who's staying, but I don't know the trajectory. Like, well, I don't know where to go from here. We're going to have to do some things in the portal for me to feel like next year can be successful. I feel like this wasn't the most talented team we've ever had, but it was the best team that Penny's had.
Sure.
That's fair. I wish we had them for more than this is also what I don't like about the portal. You just don't get teams for more than a year. Like the great thing about that run under Cal in the 2000s was we had those Laurenburg dudes for 4 years. So you had a run with them. You knew where you were getting back every year. It made it exciting. So that first Elite 8 run, you're like, hell yeah, these dudes are coming back. We're doing it again next year. And now it's like you build momentum, you get to this point, and then you're like, well, I have no idea because we're going to have a totally brand new team next year.
Yeah.
So I think that's like playing a part of me taking this so hard, is because like, for all I know, we could be a CBI team next year.
So let's do this. Looking at the roster, you got Elijah, he's gone, no eligibility. Alo gone, Kendrick gone, but Keontae Kennedy. Would you have Keontae Kennedy back?
I would bring Keontae back.
Absolutely. Chandler Lawson technically has a year left.
Both Lawson. I would bring Keontae and both Lawsons back. I don't know that they want to be back. I think Keontae will be back. I don't know about the Lawsons. I don't know if they're happy about how the year went, their playing time, their roles. I don't know, but I would bring them back. I would bring those 3 back.
Sure. KO has stated he's going pro. I don't know. And
he's out of here.
What his goal is, but
I don't know.
Jamar Young, we've never seen Jamar Young play.
I would cut ties.
Yeah, I don't.
That's just
me. He's a body. He's a body.
Here's the thing, though. Like, to me, you got to have guys that have been in the system that are a little old. That's why Keontae, the Lawsons, I want them back. They understand what Penny's looking for. They got to be that leadership to the new guys and the new people coming in. Like, you can't just you can't hit reset every year. That's why it takes until January, the end of January, to like get the teams gelled and them to start buying into stuff. It's because you have to spend the first part of the year like teaching all these new guys your system and your culture and what you're expecting out of them. It's just like, I don't want to have to do that every year. Like
every year, man.
Give me a core of guys that have been here and just add some to it.
All right. Ian Grania.
Deuces.
He hit a 3, dude.
Thank you for your service.
He's the most confusing dude in the world. Why do they not redshirt this guy? And they bring him in for like 3 games, maybe.
I don't think he wanted to redshirt.
Yeah. Anyway,
I would cut ties.
I think I would suggest that he finds other opportunities as well.
So what does that leave us with? Malco
and Jaden.
Well, I think Jaden's back. I mean, I think he's going to play with his brother.
Do they have a close relationship? Does anybody know that? I mean, they've been on the opposite side of the country from each other, so I like literally have no clue if they're close or not.
I don't know. I don't know how close they are, but I think they're close enough that they've said they wanted to play together. I think Jaden has said he wanted to play with him. And it would be cool to play with his brother.
I think I expect Jaden to be back. Malcolm, I don't know. And I don't
know either.
So like they wouldn't have him back. I mean that in the sense of like, I just don't know. I really have no clue. Is there somewhere else where he can get starting center minutes? Or I have no clue. Right.
I also think it probably depends on what you can get out of the portal, which is probably what like we're into now because everybody else is gone. So it's like, to me, if you can get, I don't know, like a Lincoln out of the portal from TCU, do you bring Malco back to play those? You know, maybe play Lampkin's your starter and you have Malco to still play those like 12 to 15. I mean, there are times where Malco is very effective.
Sure.
But he's also I feel like he's never been healthy.
That's also very fair.
So like, how much can you rely on that? So that was tough. I feel like it really, I think it's like, what can you get out of the portal? If you can get somebody like Eddie Lampkin for TCU, what's the story there? They were in the tournament. He announced before they started playing, like, what happened? Him and Jamie Dixon get into it or something?
Yeah, that one's a real weird one because he hit the portal in the middle of the tournament. And then all of a sudden, crystal balls are popping up left and right for him to go to Georgetown, who doesn't have a coach. I don't even think they've officially announced. I don't even know if they've officially announced it.
He put his house. Zillow. Hey, shout out to Zillow breaking college basketball coaching search news because
Ed Cooley's house
is up for sale. So he is taking the Georgetown job.
Okay, but my point is, it's weird that crystal balls are throwing Lampkin
I agree
Georgetown,
with
and this dude hasn't even formally accepted the job yet and been announced. It's just weird, but Lampkin I think is a perfect example of someone who Penny should look at bringing in. In theory, like he is a big body guy. He is a hefty guy. Like if you look at him, he is thick. Like
he's 6'11", 265.
Dominic Woodson. He's like Dominic Woodson thick. Like he's a big boy. Like he'd have to slim down to run the pace with Penny. But
can we throw Eddie on the defensive line?
That would be efficient. I'd like it.
Could be a 2-way. He's only a sophomore too.
Thinking back, you said Jaden back, Malcolm back, the two Lawsons back. That's at 4.
And Keontae, that'd be 5. Although I don't know that I would. I think you're sitting at 4 or 5 back. Maybe it may be 3.
I'll say we got, what is it, 7 freshmen committed?
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. It's too many.
It's a lot.
And I know they're especially only 5 of them are signed. Tylar's not signed. And then David Tubik's not signed.
Yeah.
If I were cutting of those 7, Tylar's not one that I would want to cut. I wanted
No. Yeah, Tylar's the better. In my opinion, Tyler is the one that I would want the most out of all of them.
I'm probably right there with you. Although I like Carl. I think he will be
he's a big kid.
A good 4-year in the system guy. I think Ashton will be serviceable. He can shoot the cover off the ball. I have concerns about Mikey and JJ. I'm just going to throw it out there. I've watched a lot of their games this year. And to me, it feels like they just do everything for the gram. Highlight reel. I'm talking, go watch it. Full court between the leg bounce, like throw a pass between your legs, the length of the court that bounces one time. I don't like, what is that? Don't ever do that again.
I'm not.
We'll see.
Right.
They're
high school kids.
I get it.
They're high school kids. The coach allows them to do that. You put them in a situation where they're going to have
I want some dogs, TJ. Every time you step on the hardwood, I want you to want to win the basketball game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm with it. I get it.
We'll see.
I get it.
It's the next step. Maybe Penny gets them to buy in, and they're incredible. But right now, I don't feel great about it.
All right.
So I think you need a senior, older guard. Like not necessarily. Question. I'm not saying like to Katie's level where he's putting up 30 against every quad 1 team.
Not common. Not normally out there.
But somebody that's been playing at the collegiate level for 3 or 4 years. That is a good point guard. I'm talking. There's one that is high on my list. Nick Timberlake.
Okay.
He is
the Towson guy or whatever.
Yeah, but he's averaging like 18, 5 and 3.5 or something. Last 2 years, he shot 40.6% from 3, and then this year 41.6. And that's on 6 attempts a game 2 years ago and on 7 attempts a game this year.
Okay. Pretty good. Unfortunately, I think he is going to be someone who gets a lot of phone calls from a lot of programs.
Oh, I'm sure they all will.
A big guard and he is lights out. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm with you though.
18, 4 and 2.5, shooting 45% from the field and 41.6% from 3 and 85% from the free throw line.
Where do I sign up?
Give it to me. 1 steal a game, only 2 fouls.
Don't care. That's perfect.
6'4", 205. I will take him right now. Sign me up.
I think you've already hit my biggest point of what they need to look at in the portal, and it's an experienced guard. The freshman could be guard. It could be good. Excuse me. We talked about Tyler. I think Tyler is great. I just don't know if I trust a freshman point guard.
I don't.
Yeah.
So there's a list out there of players we've already reached out to. Mm-hmm. Khalif Battle, shooting guard, Temple, 6'5" kid, 18 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists. Would you take Battle?
I like Battle. I know I don't think you're a fan, but I like Battle.
I don't know that I'm not a fan. I've just heard there could be some more me than we instances with Battle. Hey, if he buys in, he's a team baller. Let's roll. I'll take him.
Yeah. I'm not going to hold that against him because he played on a trash team. Well, they actually weren't that bad, but a team where he was severe. I mean, they're okay.
They're going to be trash next year.
They're going to be trash next year, yes. But he on a team where he has zero help, and it's got to be frustrating. I would start putting up a little bit more me than we at times as well. So like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So you got Battle, you got BJ Mack, 6'8" forward from Wofford, 17 points, 6 boards.
That's another
one. Taryn Armstrong, 6'6" point guard from Cal Baptist, 11 points, 4.5 rebs, 5 assists on the year, though. This kid, he's not a big time scorer. Yeah, he's averaging double digits. Doesn't shoot the ball great. I think he's sitting at like 30% from the field or from three. But he is one of the highest ranked guys in the portal right now. From Australia, if I have that right, but is supposedly an elite level passer. So we'll see. Another kid out there
point guard
that I would take at the guard position, Jameer Nelson Jordan. Junior Jordan. He might as well be Jordan.
Who?
He's putting up. Jameer Nelson Jr. We've reached out to Langston Wilson from Washington. He averaged 2 and 2. Timberlake already mentioned. Eddie Lampkin we mentioned. And then Amari Abram, 6'4" freshman guard from Ole Miss, which if you're going to get an Ole Miss guard, and I know he's not in the portal yet, but if he gets out there, give me Morrell. Come on home.
You know who we want. He should have been here. He wasn't ever going to come, but he should have been here, right? Should have been here.
Yeah. I would say yes.
Yeah, that Amari Abram guy, a lot of people are really high on him. And if you look at his stats, obviously the stats aren't everything, right? It was not a great team at Ole Miss, but like seems to be the real deal. Again, it's the same argument we made with the freshman. I don't know if saying, hey, a sophomore is so much more experienced than a freshman, but give me a junior or senior. Give me someone who's been there before,
Yeah. Give me an older point guard and Battle, and I think I'd be good. If you give me like Timberlake and Battle, sign me up right now. Timberlake, Battle, and Lampkin. Let's roll.
Yeah. I need a big man. Yeah. We're going to have to get another big man. I don't know how.
Let's roll with those. Dude, Darren Armstrong is listed as the second overall in the portal on both 247 and on 3.
Okay. I think that is Josh Giddey vibes, probably, because he is the Australian point guard, the big white kid who's 6'5" and just has good reads with passing the ball, right? He's a good facilitator. He's not looking to score himself.
You're averaging 5
He has
assists.
The basketball mindset to him.
You're dishing the rock. Amari Abram is number 4 on the list. Battle's 6. Timberlake is 10th. Seems too low to me. Should be higher. BJ Mack 19th.
BJ Mack is going to be a dude that everyone goes after, by the way.
And Lampkin,
I haven't looked at his
23rd.
Let's do this up. BJ Mack. He's the Wofford guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan.
Who was previously,
LSU.
Do you know where he was before that?
Immediately in my head, I say USF because of the old quarterback.
Yep. No, that is where he was. Good call. Yeah, you give me 2 older guards and a big man, and then you add the freshman and keep Keontae and the Lawsons, and I'm ready to roll. We'll see. Penny has delivered. So we're sitting here. I'm worried about it. I don't know what's in front of us, but I think you're gonna look up come June, July, and we've filled out a roster with a lot of talent, probably. And the pieces
there's so much talent.
I think Penny's got an understanding of what he needs and what he wants and what's going to fit with what he's looking for. So I think he's going to get the pieces and put them together over the next couple of months. It's going to be an interesting spring.
And also one thing that hasn't been mentioned is we don't have the looming sanctions sitting over us, right? So you don't have that
get out there
outright limitation of
what's your
I don't want to go there if you guys can't play in the tournament kind of thing. Like you don't have any of that.
Yeah. That's gone. Get out there and recruit. All right.
One thing we didn't talk about on basketball real quickly. Sorry, you're probably about to say something about this, but I just realized FAU is going to be in our conference next year.
I already told you they're going to be the favorite. They're returning an entire roster of a Sweet 16 club.
Yeah, but they're also North Texas and UAB also joining them. Pretty good teams.
Which
Charlotte.
Yeah, North Texas and UAB.
Jelly? Is Jelly back for UAB?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, North Texas and UAB is not terrible. That would have North Texas 37th in KenPom.
Yeah.
UAB 49th.
Respectable teams.
That's 2 more quad 1 road wins than we would have had, or opportunities than we would have had this season. So yeah, you're losing your cash cow in Houston. But FAU making a Sweet 16, you got us, you're adding North Texas, UAB. Top to bottom, I don't know that it's really gotten much worse.
No, truth be told, UAB, I haven't looked at this. Who's higher at KenPom between UAB and Cincinnati?
Oh, UAB.
It's UAB, right? Like you got rid of Cincinnati for UAB. Great. That's an improvement, which sounds weird as hell to say.
Oh, no, I was wrong. Cincinnati was 1 spot ahead of UAB.
Oh, stop. Okay, then it's a wash. What about UCF? Where do they fall?
They were 53rd, so they were behind UAB and North Texas.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think what this does is open the door for Memphis to become the Houston, right? The front runner, the leader of the clubhouse, if you will. And then FAU can become the Memphis, and UAB can become the Cincinnati. I don't know what Charlotte is at 20-14. That's not the best of record. Rice looks to be 19-16. That's not great. And UTSA surprisingly has a basketball program at 10-22. It's not good. You could have added worse.
Charlotte's 113, which isn't. I mean, that's equivalent to like Temple.
Yeah, that's not bad.
MTSU's 121. So, I mean, the Conference USA wasn't terrible. I mean, they're not great. They were one bid league, but North Texas and UAB were right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not
quad 1 win opportunities.
You're not adding the worst teams, at least right now. Does that put an importance on out of conference scheduling though? I think he's understood that, and I think this year gave him the insight to what he needed. Like, I think you got to kind of try to schedule like that going forward, maybe even a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he understands it, right? You added Vandy. I
think it helped you out this year.
Alabama. Who else was good that was out of conference?
A&M
turned out to be pretty good. Auburn was good. He said he's trying to set up Cincinnati. He's trying to set up Houston, but they're scared, obviously.
So we've heard possibly Virginia. I think we've reached out. He's talked about Arkansas. So we'll see. I think you've got some quality out of conference people you're going to be putting on, and then UAB, North Texas, FAU can kind of stay headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
You got opportunities for quality wins going forward.
Definitely.
All right, let's flip the page on the basketball. Like you said, spring football kicked off. You got 15 practices between now and April 21st, which will be Friday night stripes at Simmons Bank. TJ, you were out there at South Campus on Sunday morning.
Yep.
What were the vibes like?
It's good, man. It was actually really cold and really windy.
I was gonna say, did you have hand warmers? Because it was frigid yesterday.
I did not. My hands were like the one thing that were like really taking a beating. But I try to stay in the sun and kind of like use the little roster that they give you to like kind of block my hands from the wind. But no, it's great. The vibes are good. Obviously, they're just in the shells right now. There's no full pads or anything. So kind of is what it is there. You're just kind of getting started. It is week 1. So there's not much in terms of what you're going to be able to see or what you're going to hear. Not really much Ryan can say or anyone on the staff can kind of tell you other than like, hey, we're excited to get out here and just kind of give these guys some run. So that part kind of is what it is, right? You don't get to see like any true depth chart battles just yet, which is unfortunate given the number of questionable positions that we have open kind of going into this season. But
which is how many exactly?
Good to get out there. Running back, I think it could be up for interpretation on who you think a starter is there. Left tackle,
give me my boy Sutton.
We're going to go into it now. Okay. If I think running back is questionable. Blake Watson coming over 1,000-yard rusher from ODU. He could get some shot in there. He's a speedy guy. I think it's going to be Jay Ducker. If you ask me today who would start, I think Jay does all the right things for them other than have that little bit of scoot to him that I think they're looking for in a running back.
Interesting. I'd love to see more Sutton Smith worked in there, though.
Yeah, I love Sutton. He's just fun, right? It kind of gives some Kenny flashes to him.
I don't have a whole lot of I'm not real familiar. I mean, I've seen the numbers. I'm just not real familiar with Watson's abilities. So it's hard for me to really looking forward to seeing some of that during the spring and in the scrimmages they have. But
sure.
So a name you haven't mentioned that's back in that room is BT.
Yeah. Brandon's great, right? I think with Brandon, the one thing that we've run into the past couple of years is his health. You know, he just had the shoulder surgery. Sure. I think it was his labrum. Maybe
kind of a Malco situation. Just
exactly.
Hasn't been able to be healthy.
And he was a great team player last year, right? He's a guy that 2 years ago was starting back. He was leading the country in rushing for a little bit, kind of gets beat up. The line kind of gets beat up. Things kind of damper down. And then now he's just kind of used sparingly as a goal line back. And he seemed to be completely okay with that. Came in, did his part until he physically couldn't go anymore. He's supposed to be back. We'll see it, We'll see how it works out. I don't know if he'll stick around. I'm not going to push him out of the door by any means. He may be happy here with this role. I don't know, but we'll see.
So you mentioned running back. What about wide receiver? You see any of that? We got any speed over there? I've heard some people talking about we might have gotten a little bit of speed back on the roster this year.
Sure. Blankumsey, I think is the one that you were going to be aiming at there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Seth might have talked about him. Obviously, Skates is there. I think you mentioned Watson, but I think Seth mentioned Watson too. So maybe somebody that can get out there and catch some passes out of the backfield, make a play, turn a little 5-yarder into maybe a 25, 30-yarder. Just sounds like we might have added a little bit more.
Yeah. Blankumsey, Busey, those are two off the top of my head.
Busey, didn't you say Busey was returning some kicks the other day?
Yeah, they were working a lot of guys back there. Nothing, I'm not trying to say he's going to be the lead return guy. Our boy Kobe was back there returning some stuff.
Sure hands, Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? But yeah, there are tons of speed guys. I think that's what they're trying to work in. That's maybe something they were missing last year. Eddie has his burst, but Eddie was more of a polished route runner. I think I would say it wasn't really like the breakaway speed guy. Javon, obviously not a breakaway speed guy. The deep threat was clearly Joe Skates. And that was super obvious, but you don't need just one guy to be that deep threat guy. You really need that all over.
Yeah. You see our boy Trench Baby out there?
I did see Trench Baby. He is very large, and the roster has him at 265, and there is no way that he is 265. Ain't no way.
Maybe not Trench Baby. Maybe we need Trench Man.
No, he's Trench Man. He
Trench
is
Beast.
That's all. They got him and Josh White backwards or something. I don't know what's going on, but he is every bit of 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds. No.
You're telling me my man's 35 pounds heavier?
Yeah, at least.
A rock solid
300-pounder.
All right, I like it.
I did look over at the D-line, and they look big. They do look big.
Well, we knew they were going to be big. We saw the size coming in. # beef.
Yeah, I mean,
on both sides, how'd the O-line look?
Couldn't see the O-line too much. They were on the opposite end from where I was standing, so I didn't get much there. I could see them down there, but you just kind of see numbers. You know, you can't really make out who's who, really. Unfortunately, didn't see anything on them yet, but we'll get out there this week and see what we can find out.
Nice. All right, so several position groups we'll be watching. Like I said, we got the spring game coming up April 21st. They'll have a couple of scrimmages in between here and there. TJ, I'll ask you this. Is this the year that Ryan gets it done?
What do you mean by gets it done? I think this is loosely defined by a lot of people.
Gets it done. I'll use their expectations. Winning a conference championship. I'm not going to say competing. I'm going to say winning. You feel like the league got significantly more winnable this year?
I don't think it got significantly more winnable. Like UTSA is still going to be pretty good.
Yeah, but you don't have them on the schedule.
It's like, it's fine. You don't. It's not even about that. They could run the table. It doesn't matter. They could run the table, and you would just lose one conference game, and you never even play them. It's just kind of how it works, right? Quarterback is back for like his 15th year. He's good. Trailer's good as the coach. They've seemingly been putting it together. His famous last words. I'm not that scared of Tulane this year. Like, yes, Pratt is back, but they lost a lot on that defense, and that defense
staff
has saved
and players.
Yeah, they lost a lot. Winnable, yes. Long story short, winnable, yes. Memphis should absolutely, without question, be in the top 3 of the American this year. And in terms of a win-loss, I don't know where that lands you, right? I think preseason I said that we'd be a 9-win team at least. In terms of gets it done, I will say, in my definition, gets it done is, could he win 10 games and not get fired? Absolutely. I think if he wins 10 games, you're not firing him, even if he doesn't make the conference tournament or conference championship or doesn't win the conference championship. You win 10 games, I have no logic as to why they would fire him. You know?
A winning season in a bowl game, and I don't think he's getting fired.
Okay, like, what are we talking about? A 9-win season or a 10-win season, even with
9 is the
water
floor.
Down, that's fine. He wins 9 games, they're still not going to fire him.
Oh, I agree with you. I was just curious. I hope more than anything we win the conference and are in the hunt for the New Year's 6.
Look, here we are talking about all the position battles. You're replacing a starting left tackle, a starting right tackle, running back, tight end, 2 wide receivers,
all your receivers.
Yeah, a defensive lineman,
all but 2 of your linebackers.
2 linebackers,
your
a cornerback,
best overall
both safeties.
Player. Yeah,
like you're filling in a lot of holes here. Like
your kicker,
my man, your kicker, your punter. Like, look, we have these high goals, and like we set this bar so high that should he be able to reach them? Yes, he is recruiting The staff is recruiting at such a high level. They're pulling from the transfer portal. At this point, it should be plug and play. Like, I don't think you can use the, hey, we're young excuse anymore. Because if you're young at this point, that's on you. As in terms of roster management, that's completely on you. But I think they're actually putting together a pretty strong roster. They've pulled in a lot of P5 guys, a lot of transfers, a lot of size, a lot of guys that can step in and play right away, especially on the defensive side. So for me, I think that's going to be a pretty talented team, and anything less than 9 wins is very disappointing. And I could even be talked into 10 wins as the floor. I know that, and that's crazy to say because Boise was hella good last year. That's a 9-win team. Mizzou is an SEC team. You got Tulane on the roster or on the schedule. I'm trying to think of who else. There's a stretch there. North Texas was not a gimme game last year like we thought it may be. Austin Ani's back. Will he get the start over Grant Gunnell? Like, who knows? But there's some relatively tough games on the roster. Relatively. Now, I'm not going to say outright tough, but you got a lot of holes heading into that, but they'll figure it out.
10 could be the floor. You might be right. Give me Dub Ditch winning season. All right. Well, we'll continue to monitor the position battles and everything going through spring. Tej, anything else before we jump into this brew?
I don't know. I feel better about the basketball game after talking about it.
I feel better. I was literally thinking
the weight has been lifted.
I do feel better. That's weird how talking about things makes you feel better. It's like they should tell people that. It's like therapy or something.
I think they do tell people that. All right, Ghost Golden. What a classic beer. This is good.
It is good. I hadn't had it in a little bit, but
gotta add it to our list, dude.
Just a classic black can with gold writing. Got the is this not the are they this is the
we don't know the name of the tree.
It's the same tree. Are they doing that on every can?
Yeah, that's their logo. That's their thing.
For every can? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think they just went with a rebrand of simple, but like what it is, right? Because even if
that's a deduction in points, I'm not.
If they took Ghost River off the can and you just saw that tree, you would know exactly who they are. So for me, it's smart marketing. I know.
Put it as a part of your smaller logo. Don't make every single can of different beer the same thing.
Different folks, different strokes. I get it, my man.
Yeah, so it's a bald cypress. I didn't realize that they had done that. That's a deduction. Gosh, hate it.
I don't mind the can. I think it is. I am about to.
What did I do? My Zip and Pippin? Here. Look it up right now.
Is that fair for you to tell you that?
Oh, I'm deducting points from Zip and Pippin now that I know
6.5 was your Zip.
Go 5.8 for the can.
I would
every can for me. It's 5. This one's 5.5.
5.5? I think you said 5.8.
5.8 because I like the color better on Zip and Pippin. I don't like the black and not a big. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. I like this one more than I like the Zip and Pippin can. I don't know why, but I just do. Maybe it's because the gold's shiny. I think
it might also be because this can is so beat up. Like it's been transferred in and out of a cooler 100 times, which isn't pot. Like it's just been sitting in my fridge. It feels like weaker aluminum than normal.
Is this a ball can? No.
A what?
A ball. The ball company. Like the Denver Nuggets arena ball.
Gosh, that's so disappointing. I didn't know that they did that with every can.
I like it. I like it better than the Zip and Pippin can. I think the colors work. The gold shines. I like it. It's gold. Ghost River Golden Ale. I gave Zip and Pippin a 6.8. I'll bump this up to I gave Zip and Pippin a 6.7. And I'll bump this up to a 6.8 just because I appreciate it more aesthetically. Different folks, different strokes. That's what I just said. It kind of is what it is. On to the beer, though.
Such a good brew, though.
Such a good brew.
You're holding a no-fuss balanced brew that's ready to go anywhere. May your cooler always be full and your hand never empty.
Hell of a statement.
Gosh, it's so drinkable.
Very drinkable.
I mean, you could have several of these in a row. And for that reason, I'm going 8-2.
Oh, I wrote an 8-1 on mine. I really like this one.
I almost said 8-1, but something telepathically told me that you were picking that, so I went 8-2.
Okay. Yeah, to me, it's really good. I could drink a lot of them. And I think it's almost cheating having like the list in front of me because I go back and I'm like, damn, do I like it more than that one? No, I don't like it more than Tiny Bomb. So I got to bring it down a notch. And I think that's probably cheating and it's altering my score because my original was like an 8-4. And I was like, ooh, that's really close to Tiny Bomb. And I really like Tiny Bomb. So I dropped it down.
You can't do that. You just got to go.
I know. It's unfair. I shouldn't have pulled up this spreadsheet. What are you going to do? Pretty good beer. We liked it more than Zip and Pippin overall.
It's definitely, I think it's better beer than Zip and Pippin.
All right, Trey. That's it.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on this morning of a Tigers basketball episode. If you guys haven't joined bluffcitymedia.co, join it. Sign up using TJ and Trey. That's all caps. You get 10% off. Cool merch. You get access to the Discord where you can listen to me and TJ freak out during live games or talk recruiting, schedule updates, whatever. Got all kinds of stuff in there. Grizzlies, 901 FC, Tigers, anything Memphis related. So be sure to go and sign up for that. And we will see you next time.
I just want to throw this in here real quickly. If you are someone who often frequents a message board, we are so bad about using the message board, I feel like, because we spend so much time in that Discord. So if you go to the message board and you just see me talking to myself or Trey and I just chatting back and forth for something that we probably could just text each other for, it's likely because we're in the Discord and that's where everybody's posting.
The Discord is greater than the message board.
I would agree.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I like it a lot.
Definitely agree.
Sign up, if for nothing else, sign up for the Discord. It's great. A lot of good peeps in there. All right. We'll see you next time. Come with the cold beer, stay for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, please leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to bluffcitynil.com for comprehensive coverage of Memphis Tiger athletics. We will see you back here next week.